Have you ever been in a conversation where afterwards you just felt completely zapped?
Yeah.
Like your internal battery went from full to empty, not just tired, but really drained. Maybe even a sudden mood drop.
Oh, absolutely. It's an incredibly relatable feeling.
It makes you wonder what really just happened there.
Well, what you're describing points to a really fascinating concept. It kind of bridges ancient wisdom and modern experience. It's the idea of the energy vampire.
Okay, energy vampire. Sounds dramatic.
It does, but hold on. Before you picture capes and fangs, let's be clear. We're not talking folklore here.
Right.
In esoteric and metaphysical traditions, an energy vampire is more like a person, or sometimes even an entity, believed to feed off the vital energy, the life force of others. Often unconsciously, sometimes consciously.
Life force, like prana or ki.
Exactly. Those are terms for this subtle vitality. Prana in yogic traditions, ki or chi in Chinese medicine. Now, modern science might not have a meter for energy drain.
Yeah, fair enough.
But within these frameworks, it's taken quite seriously. It's seen as a real energetic imbalance.
That distinction is key, isn't it? And that's really our mission for this deep dive. We want to unpack this whole concept.
Mm-hmm.
We'll look at the common characteristics, the signs. We'll explore how different traditions, old and new, view this. And most importantly, we want to equip you, the listener, with practical strategies, ways to protect your own energy.
Right, and we've pulled from a really wide range of sources, old occult texts, modern self-help psychology interfaces. It's quite a stack.
A real toolkit for energetic self-defense. Before we dive deeper, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like the video. This podcast is known as The Deep Seek Diaries, and you can find us on the major social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Linked in the description section are all the resources in discussion today, including books, websites, and so on. Please go through our terms and conditions as soon as you can. Now sit back and enjoy this deep dive.
So, expanding on that core idea, an energy vampire, or sometimes called a psychic vampire, is essentially someone whose interactions deplete your subtle vitality.
Right, that depletion.
Yeah. And prolonged contact. It can leave you feeling fatigued, unfocused, emotionally low, sometimes even physically unwell. For sensitive people, it's a very real thing.
That makes so much sense. And our sources, they really dig into this, don't they? They even make a distinction about whether it's intentional or not.
That's a really important point. It's rarely conscious, actually. Most sources highlight two main forms. There's unintentional energy vampirism.
Okay.
Where someone unconsciously siphons energy because they have their own energetic deficit, like a leaky bucket, just trying to get filled up from anywhere.
Okay.
Then less commonly, there's intentional psychic vampirism, sometimes deliberately practiced by certain occultists. But the core result is the same, that you feel drained afterwards.
So it's not always living people then. Some sources mention other things.
That takes us into more esoteric territory.
Yes.
Certain traditions, like Theosophy writers like Blavatsky and Leadbeater, talk about discarnate entities.
Discarnate, meaning nobody.
Exactly. Concepts like astral vampires or elementaries, these are thought of as lingering spirits or maybe energetic fragments, even thought forms that sustain themselves by leeching vitality from the living.
Wow. Energetic echoes. That's quite a thought.
It is. Think of them as residual imprints, maybe, still affecting the living realm.
So how does all this translate to, our everyday understanding? Some listeners might be thinking, okay, is this really about subtle energy or just dealing with difficult, toxic people?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's where the perspectives kind of meet. The esoteric traditions talk about actual occult osmosis of life force.
A literal energy transfer.
Yes, as if vital energy is seeping across. But modern metaphysical circles often use energy vampire more metaphorically, too. It lines up with psychology's emotional vampires.
Right, like narcissistic types or drama queens, people who exhaust you emotionally.
Exactly. But the key difference in the esoteric view is the belief in a real energetic interaction, not just psychological stress. Though, of course, the two can definitely overlap.
Okay, that distinction is helpful. Let's dig into the signs then, the red flags, that feeling. Consistently feeling worse after being with someone. Our sources list some common characteristics. What patterns should people look out for?
There are definitely patterns. First one, chronic negativity and judgment.
Yes.
These people are just incessantly critical, always finding flaws, focusing on problems, constantly complaining. You know the type. They just drag the whole mood down.
The classic Debbie Downer. Yeah, definitely know the type. Leaves you feeling heavy.
Exactly. Then there's attention-seeking and drama.
Always the center of the storm.
Pretty much. They might create crises, exaggerate troubles, constantly play the victim. It's all to attract sympathy and keep you engaged, giving them attention and energy.
It's a one-way street emotionally.
Totally.
Yeah.
They talk endlessly about their issues, maybe make you feel guilty if you don't rush in, but there's rarely any reciprocity. That dynamic is a huge drain.
So it's like a performance that runs on your energy.
Often, yeah. A third one is emotional manipulation. Guilt is a big tool here.
Guilt trips. Ugh.
Right. Anton LaVey, interestingly, back in the 60s, used the term psychic vampire psychologically. He described people who, quote, inspire you with guilt so that you'll feel obligated to do things for them.
Makes sense. Sulking, blaming, constant crisis mode, it coerces empathy.
Precisely. And finally, a really common one, a lack of boundaries or empathy. They might not respect your personal space, your time, your emotional limits. They expect you to cater to them, but they're often emotionally unavailable themselves.
That leaves you feeling depleted and unseen.
Exactly. It can even erode your self-esteem over time if it's someone close.
And the effects on you, the person being drained, can be so tangible. Not just tired, but heavy, anxious, depressed, foggy-headed, like that hangover of negative energy you mentioned.
That's a great way to put it. From the esoteric viewpoint, your aura, your energetic field, is seen as compromised. Your vital force is literally siphoned off.
Wow.
Dion Fortune, who wrote Psychic Self-Defense back in 1930, a real foundational text, she observed something interesting. He said, a vampirized person can become a psychic vacuum themselves.
What do you mean?
Meaning they instinctively try to pull energy from others to refill themselves. So it can become this sort of contagious cycle if you're not careful.
That's a really key insight. And as you said earlier, many energy vampires aren't consciously doing this.
Not at all. They often lack the ability to regulate their own energy field, so they inadvertently draw from others. Whether it's conscious or not, though, the result is the same for you.
Right. The consistent pattern is time with them leaves you feeling worse. Recognizing that pattern is the absolute first step.
Spot on.
It's really fascinating how long people have been thinking about this stuff. We might think energy vampires is a new agey term, but the idea of energetic protection is ancient. What do some of the older texts, say pre-1990, tell us?
Oh, definitely not new. Dion Fortune's book from 1930 is, as I said, seminal. She called it psychic parasitism.
Parasitism.
Strong word, it is.
Yeah.
She confirmed the contagious aspect and offered remedies. Some sounded quite old world, like garlic or holy water, but also ceremonial practices, like the Kabbalistic cross or the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram.
Which are essentially
Powerful visualization and intention practices, ways to energetically fortify your space. But she always stressed calm assessment, not paranoia.
right. Important balance.
And even earlier, late 19th, early 20th century, you had the Theosophists, Blavatsky, Leadbeater.
Yeah.
They talked about involuntary transmission of vitality by occult osmosis.
Occult osmosis, like energy seeping across unconsciously.
Exactly. Leadbeater described it as a defect in the person's etheric body, making them act like a gigantic sponge. Interestingly, he felt the vampire didn't even get lasting benefit. The energy just rushes through him and is dissipated. A lose-lose.
Huh. So what did they suggest?
Trying to heal the vampire's energy body, if possible. And for victims, building a strong etheric shell, basically, strengthening your own aura.
Self-protection again, always key.
Always. And you see similar implicit protections in traditional witchcraft and Wicca, maybe not using the exact term psychic vampire early on, but practices like casting magic circles.
Creates a protected space.
Right. Cleansing spaces, raising energy, grounding. These all inherently guard against unwanted energetic influences, including siphoning. Then, kind of unexpectedly, you get Anton LaVey in the Satanic Bible in 1969.
Right. You mentioned him regarding guilt.
Yeah. He framed psychic vampires, mostly psychologically, warning his followers about people who leech your time and spirit through guilt. His advice, surprisingly practical, even mainstream now.
Which was?
Cut them out of your life, or just firmly say no and deprive them of the satisfaction they seek. Very much aligned with modern self-help.
It's amazing how these different streams, esoteric, ritual, psychology, practical boundaries, all converge on this topic. So moving into more modern approaches, say 1990s onward.
Yeah, the modern stuff often blends psychology, empathy work, and updated spiritual techniques. There's a big focus on empaths, too.
Makes sense. Empaths might be more susceptible.
Exactly. Dr. Christian Northrup's book, Dodging Energy Vampires from 2018, really targets empaths. She links vampires to narcissistic or sociopathic traits.
And her advice.
Minimize contact. Practice energy hygiene. Good sleep. Meditation. Nature. cutting energetic cords. She also mentions the gray rock method for those vampires you can't avoid.
Gray rock.
Basically acting really boring and unresponsive, not giving them the drama they feed on.
Interesting tactic.
Then there's Dr. Judith Orloff, a psychiatrist who is also an empath. Her empath survival guide profiles types like the narcissist, the victim, the constant talker.
Oh, the constant talker, yeah.
Right. She gives concrete tips, polite interruptions, setting time limits on conversations, even physically positioning yourself near an exit. Very practical stuff.
I like that. Gives you tangible actions.
And a really unique perspective comes from Michelle Belanger's Psychic Vampire Codex. Belanger self-identifies as a psychic vampire.
Wow, okay. From the other side.
Yeah. She tries to demystify it, framing it as a learnable skill of energy manipulation, and discusses things like ethical feeding and protection from the vampire's viewpoint.
That's different. Adds another layer.
It does. Then you have folks like Joe H. Slate, a parapsychologist, talking about group vampires or even global vampirism.
Global vampirism, like mass consciousness drains.
Something like that. He discusses aura photography and sending positive energy back. Dorothy Harbour's book, Energy Vampires, is very exercise-focused, musical aura work, pillar of light meditations. She even talks about lovingly curing the vampire.
Curing them with love.
That's the idea, raising their vibration through compassion, perhaps. And from the East, Master Chawakaksui's pranic healing work offers detailed shielding, cleansing psychically dirty places, removing negative thought forms.
And Qigong, too.
Definitely. Teachers like Lee Holden emphasize building your Wei Qi, your protective energy field, through breath work and mindful movement. It's all about strengthening your own container.
I hope you are enjoying the topic so far. Please subscribe to the Deep Seek Diaries and like this video. Don't forget you can find us on the major social media platforms like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Linked in the description section are all the resources and discussion today, including books, websites, and so on.
It's really important, though, with all these modern takes, to remember the caution against paranoia.
Right. Not everyone who makes you tired is a vampire.
Exactly. Stress, lack of sleep, illness. These can cause similar feelings. And yeah, the concept has hit pop culture too, like that Goop psychic vampire repellent spray.
Ha, yeah, I remember that.
A British GQ article quipped the real repellent is just learning to say no and setting boundaries, which honestly isn't wrong. It's about discernment.
That's a perfect segue. Discernment and then action. So what does this all mean for you, the listener? Let's get into the practical stuff, the toolkit, step-by-step techniques from all these sources that you can actually use.
Absolutely. Think of these as ways to build your energetic immune system. Ready?
Let's do it. Where do we start?
Number 1, master your boundaries. This is foundational. First, just notice who drains you. Awareness is key. Then, if possible, limit contact. Or even cut contact entirely.
Like LaVey and Northrop suggested, if it's optional and harmful, maybe step away.
Exactly. And learn to say no firmly but politely. No need for long justifications. I'm sorry, I can't right now. Each boundary is like patching a leak in your energy field.
Okay, solid first step. What's next?
Number 2, build your inner shield. This is about strengthening your core energy using visualization.
Like an energy bubble.
Pretty much. The classic white light shield. Picture yourself inside a brilliant egg or bubble of white light. Imagine it only lets positive energy in, filtering out or deflecting anything else.
Or mirrors, I've heard of that.
Yes. Psychic medium Matt Fraser suggests picturing outward-facing mirrors around you, maybe bathed in white light. They reflect negativity back to its source, but without ill intent, just returning what isn't yours. Practice daily makes it stronger.
Nice. Okay, boundaries, shielding, what else?
Number 3, ground and clear your energy. Super important, especially after a draining encounter. It helps flesh out that foreign energy.
How do you do that?
Simplest way. Go outside, walk barefoot on grass or soil for a few minutes. Imagine negativity flowing out into the earth. Or visualize a cord from your spine, anchoring deep into the earth, releasing stress and drawing up stable energy.
And cleansing.
Water is great. Take a shower, visualize dark, sticky energy washing off you and down the drain. Imagine the water is purifying light. For a deeper cleanse, an Epsom salt or sea salt bath, soak for 20 minutes, intending to release anything that isn't yours.
Okay, grounding and clearing. Makes sense.
Next, number 4, strengthen your aura and vitality. A strong, vibrant aura is naturally resilient.
How do you strengthen it?
Practices like yoga, qigong, tai chi, they circulate life force, prana or ki, and patch leaks. Deep breathing exercises too. Dorothy Harbour suggested that pillar of light meditation. Visualize divine light filling your body, expanding your aura, pushing out anything negative.
And focusing on certain energy centers, chakras.
Yes, particularly the solar plexus or navel chakra. It's linked to personal power and self-esteem. Strengthening it helps you stand firm in your energy.
Got it. What about lingering connections?
Good point. Number 5, cut unhealthy cords. If you feel an ongoing, unhealthy, energetic tie to someone, even after you've limited contact, cord cutting can help.
How does that work? Is it a ritual?
It's usually done in meditation. Visualize the person and any cords, like tubes or ropes, connecting you often seen to the solar plexus, heart, or throat. Then, visualize using golden scissors, or maybe a sword of light, and decisively sever those cords.
And then?
Affirm your freedom. I reclaim my energy. I am sovereign. Intend that any energy taken is now returned or regenerated within you.
Powerful visualization. Okay, what else is in the toolkit?
Number 6, invoke support and use protective tools. You don't have to rely solely on your own willpower.
Like calling on help.
Exactly. Pray to your deity, a guardian angel like Archangel Michael, often invoked for cutting cords and protection. If you follow a Wiccan path, cast protective circles. Even simple affirmations work. I am divinely protected. Only love and light may touch me. Say it with conviction.
And physical tools, crystals.
Yes. Carry or wear protective stones. Black tourmaline is classic. Obsidian, hematite, amethyst too. They're believed to absorb or transmute negativity. Just remember to cleanse them regularly. Wearing protective symbols that resonate with you can also help.
Okay, lots of options there. What if you feel like you're being deliberately targeted?
Right. Number 7, transmute or return energy ethically. For more persistent or intentional draining, you can choose to return the energy.
Like sending it back.
Ethically, yes. Not with malice. Mentally put up that mirror field again. Or simply state aloud, any energy that is not mine, I send back to its source with love. It is not welcome here. You're just reclaiming your space.
And transmutation.
That's more advanced. Visualizing the incoming negative energy transforming into harmless light or being consumed by a violet flame, maybe. It involves raising your own vibration. Some, like Dorothy Harbour, even suggest sending love or forgiveness back. But that requires strong centering. It's okay to just protect yourself if transmutation feels too complex or draining itself.
Good caveat. And finally,
Number 8, prioritize self-care and replenishment. This is absolutely non-negotiable for recovery and resilience.
the basics, but essential.
Totally. After draining interactions, do things that recharge you joyfully. Nature, hobbies, rest. Nourish your body. Physical vitality supports psychic strength. Treat recovery from energy vampires like recovery from an illness or a hard workout. You need to replenish. Regular energy maintenance is like ongoing immune support.
That's a fantastic toolkit, really practical. So bringing it all together, dealing with this is clearly multi-layered, isn't it? It's spiritual hygiene, emotional intelligence, setting boundaries.
Absolutely. It touches on so many aspects of well-being. The big takeaways. First, personal empowerment. Reclaiming your will, your self-esteem, your assertiveness. Empowered people are less vulnerable.
Right. Second, energetic awareness. Tuning into your own energy, your environment, trusting your gut feelings. That intuition is your early warning system.
Exactly. Third, holistic health. Remember, physical vitality fuels psychic resilience. Sleep, good food, exercise, stress management, they all build your energetic baseline.
And community and support seem vital too. Talking to others who understand this, who validate your experience, it combats the isolation that can make you a target. Even sharing this knowledge helps.
Definitely. And a crucial point, compassion with caution. Yes, have compassion. The person draining you might be suffering their own deficit, but balance that with firm boundaries. No malice, but absolutely no enabling or accepting poor treatment. You're aiming to exit that whole dynamic.
Wise words. And finally, maintaining that skeptical perspective, staying grounded.
Yes. Always consider other explanations, stress, health issues. Avoid paranoia. Part of this journey is simply improving your own boundary skills and emotional resilience, which is valuable no matter what. It's about empowering yourself from every angle.
A balanced view.
Ultimately, combining that ancient wisdom with modern insights gives you a really rich set of tools. It's about navigating these subtle energies safely, sovereignly. The goal is empowerment, not fear.
Exactly. Like Dion Fortune said, invisible forces are not necessarily evil, just potent. And we can learn to handle that potency. By doing that, we reclaim our own energy. We can live more vibrantly, free from those unseen things that might have been weighing us down. I hope you have enjoyed today's deep dive from the Deep Seek Diaries. Please don't forget to check out the linked resources in the description section. Hit the subscribe and like buttons as you head off if you haven't already. Until the next deep dive, goodbye.